Welcome to a special edition of Monday Live. I do just want to let all of my members know that I have your questions and we're going to just move those questions to next Sunday. So there will be no Q&A post this week, and I'll just kind of do them next Sunday. Today I'm not going to do a Q&A. And instead, I have a lot of information to relay to you. I guess I kind of forgot that Monday/tomorrow was the 21st. So I'm going to be in my event all day that day. So I really have to relay this information to you today. I also have another huge video coming up on the 28th. I believe that's next Monday. And it's just going to be about 2021. It's going to be my 2021 prediction video. I've been receiving so many countless downloads. I know so many of you have also had restless nights, weird symptoms, headaches, weird pressure in your third eye area. I was just chatting with all of you and I feel it. I feel it. Especially dreams have been crazy to the point where I'm just not sleeping these days, which is just too much almost, but it's good. So today I have a compilation of not all of the downloads that I've received, but the majority of the most intense and most important ones. So this video is going to feel like it's kind of all over the place, but it's everything that you need to know right now. And I do want to let you know, as always, guys, really appreciate all of the super chats and the donations, and that really helps me put out free content every single week. Be sure to subscribe and like, and definitely share this video. It's intense, but it's also going to be hard-hitting for everyone, even the ones who aren't fully awakened. So feel free to kind of share this to your family and friends as well. Before I begin, I do want to remind you that tomorrow's event, the 21st, is completely sold out. I know, unfortunately, Zoom rooms do have a capacity. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to just take the event and we're going to film it, and then we're going to put it out there on Tuesday. It should be ready. Probably do a couple of edits or what have you. And that's just going to be for $11. And the workbook comes with it as well. It's about 13 pages with the juicy workbook and all the activities. Mostly this entire event is meant to align you, purge out the old and align you to the new vibration. Okay, so that'll be up on Tuesday for those of you who are either in a weird time zone or you just can't make it. Without further ado, let's just deep dive into it. I'm going to actually end this video with a verbatim transmission from the Galactic Federation Palladian Security Council. It was, what is time anymore? It must have been maybe 4 or 5 days ago where they came to me in the middle of the night, and it was pretty intense, you know. It was the word that they used was critical. It was a critical message. So I'm going to be ending this video with that message, and I'm just going to put in all of the downloads that I've received before that. Okay, so the first thing that I want to go over is timeline convergence. I have talked about this before, but it's really important that we move forward with this concept. Has anyone else here felt like 2020 was like 10 years long? Like literally 2020 feels like it's been the longest year I've ever experienced. I mean, I'm 28, right? So I haven't experienced that many years, but it definitely feels like it's been this 10-year long journey through 2020. And sometimes it feels like 2020 didn't even happen at all. It's been very odd. So when you feel like one day was one entire week or one entire month or one entire year, when time seems to be stretching out longer, okay? Typically, from my perception, what that means is we're packing so much experience, we're packing so much realization, so much exploration, so many downloads into one container of time that container of time feels longer than in comparison to other containers of time. So for me personally, you may not feel this way, but 2020, like I said, sometimes I perceive it like it really never happened, because here we are at the end of it. And sometimes I perceive it like it felt like it was 10 years long. So when I perceive 2020 as 10 years long, it's because we've been awakening, we've been working, we've been challenged, we've been going through it, we've been in the trenches. It's like, it's like watching the news and seeing all the stuff about, what the president was saying, and it just feels like it's so much all the time. And it's the same thing of, how we're perceiving our own reality and awakening. Yeah, sure, we're going about our day and we're feeding ourselves, 3 or 4 times a day, and we're maybe meditating and doing these things. But in between, all of the normal physical aspects of our reality are filled with potentially lifetimes of experience, right? Like imagine, just to kind of perceive, or even think about perceiving my life, imagine in 1 week me having 5 clients, right? And at my peak I was having like 18 to 25 clients a week. And in every one of those sessions I would go into, say, for example, 5 past lifetimes. That's potentially 25 to even, my math isn't very good, but like 25 to like 1,000 past lifetimes that I'm experiencing in the container of 1 week. So time has always been weird for me, because I can take 1 minute to experience 2 entire past lifetimes. But now the rest of the world is experiencing this weird timeline convergence. When time feels like it's speeding up, the way that I perceive it is we're actually bending time. It's kind of like what happens with space travel, like bending space, and I see it very clearly, but it's difficult for me to conceptualize or even to relay the information. But it's almost like 2020 has been so removed from what normal reality was before 2020 that it just feels like it went by so fast, or once again, that it really didn't happen at all. It's like it folded in on itself. It was like we all hopped into this weird parallel reality in 2020, and it was just different. It was just removed. It's like I can't even compare the year of 2020 to 2019 or 2018 or any other year before 2020. And I feel like 2021 is going to feel like that, and 2022 is going to feel like that. We've officially hopped into this weird paradigm. And I do believe that in so many ways, what we were all waiting for, at least I was waiting for to happen in 2012, is indeed and has happened in 2020. And I know that the Gregorian calendar, or whatever it's called, the calendars got switched, and it was an 8-year difference. Just interesting stuff to think about. I don't really know much about that, but yeah, timeline convergence is huge. So I want all of you at home to move forward into the year of 2021 with timeline control. That's what I'm going to call it. And I want you guys all to write that down. Timeline control. How can you at home control the timeline of your reality around you? So you can play around with this. It's really fun to do that. So in 1 week, you could say, you know what, this week I want to experience the quantumness of time, right? And all of a sudden you get deja vu moments. All of a sudden you're getting precognition and weird, psychic moments of the future moment, right? Maybe you say, this week I want to experience time slowing down. And from moment to moment, you are so present that it feels like that moment just lasted an hour, right? Or maybe you set the intention of, this week, I want time to speed up. I want this week to fly by. And by the end of the week, you're like, wow, it's Sunday already, right? Just know, guys, that through your perception, through your focus, through your intention, you can create and recreate your reality. We have to start living our life like that. Understanding that intellectually, conceptually, that's great. But now it's time to start experiencing that. Okay? Work with time. You are a time master. You are a time lord. You can do that. That's possible. And you don't know that that's possible. You don't know that you have that power and that you can do that until you start doing it. All right, good. Okay, this other download that came to me in the middle of the night last night, actually, it's so huge. 2020 has been such a tough year, yes. Lots of challenge, lots of like facing your own shadow work. For those of us who have done the work, it's been quite light. And, you know, and luckily Nat doesn't watch my videos, but, you know, even just this past 2 months compared to my wife, it's been really interesting. Like a lot of old kind of trudgy third dimension stuff, especially with her, a lot of old 3D relationships, work relationships, dynamics that just don't serve her, because she made a lot of decisions in the past with the vibration of lack, right? And all of those decisions, all of those relationships, all of those business endeavors are all coming back to hit her really hard. And she's had many breakdowns, which I say you got to break down before you break through, right? So for me to observe where she's been at, and I know that it's pretty much been a spiritual boot camp since we've gotten together, because that's just who I am, and I really kind of push anyone who's around me, not in an aggressive way, just in a way that's just who I am. And yeah, and so for me, it's been really light. Like all my relationships, all my dynamics, all my work stuff, obviously is just in 5D, so I'm not feeling the density that I see that she's going through, but I am still having that reflection. I am still working on those deep inner aspects. So one of the other downloads that came to me was 2020 was the year of collapsing identity. And what anchors us into the third dimension reality? The attachment to identity. So I was just mentioning in another video not too long ago, you know, all of the people that go to church, to give their money to the church, to pray to God in the church, to feel like they are repenting for their sins in the church. All of a sudden, they're not allowed to go to church. All of a sudden, they're realizing that they don't have to pay money to talk to God. Their identity is collapsing. And that's not a good thing for the church. They don't have their grips over people anymore. You can be religious. You can love God. You can love Jesus. You don't have to do it in a building. I found that out at a very early age. I was talking to God or interdimensional beings from a very early age, right? So people's identities are collapsing. Maybe it's the lawyer who went into work every day and wore a business suit and had that 9-to-5 identity of I'm the provider, I'm the protector, I'm the man of the family, and this is what I do. All of a sudden, you're at home, you're in sweatpants, you're freaking cooking dinner with your wife. The identities are collapsing of the rest of the world. And I know that if you're here right now, most likely you did a lot of identity work long before 2020. Like, I just want you to think about it. If you were to think about what year you collapsed your identity the most in the past 10 years, what year would that be for you? What year would that be for you? For me, I did a ton of identity work 2016, 2017, but it was actually 2018 for me, where I left my country, I left my sexuality, I left my fiancé, I left my condo downtown Toronto, and I moved to California, and I fell in love with a woman. You know, I mean, talk about changing everything other than my career. I was still on the path. 2018 for me was my huge identity breakdown and breakthrough once again, right? 2014, 2018, 2014. Awesome, guys. Yeah, 2018 for you guys too. Cool. 2016 to 2017. Awesome. And so what's beautiful about this, and I've said this so many times, but I have to say this again. Attachment to identity pigeonholes you. It puts you into a container. And I always go back to the example of coffee versus tea. It's so simple, but it's so profound and impactful. If you wake up every morning and you're like, I'm a coffee drinker, so today I'm going to be drinking coffee, and you don't check in with yourself, and you don't ask yourself, well, do you want orange juice? Do you want hot chocolate? Do you want tea? What do you want instead? Do you want turmeric? Do you want golden milk? What do you want instead? There's so many choices. You could have any of them. What do you want? Right? Whatever your identities are that you've attached to, you need to break them down. Because 5D is not a place for identity. It will hold you back. I don't care what if your identity is, I'm a 5D Palladian walk-in hybrid being, let go of it. 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 I don't care what your new identity is. There is no room and no place for identity in 5D. Now, it doesn't mean, okay, and this is the thing that freaks us all out, myself included. We're human. We are used to understanding and conceptualizing and processing who we are. Okay, well, I'm a psychic and a mother and a wife and a painter and a dog walker and whatever those identities are, right? When we lose our identity, especially for most of the world in 2020, they went through an identity crisis, which was really just another word for ego death. Losing your identity is an ego death. And all of a sudden you start to spiral because everything that you had ever conceptualized under the umbrella of that identity is breaking down because it no longer serves you. So don't shift yourself into a brand new identity. Shift yourself. The solution here of not living within a container or an identity is, hey, I'm just me. And I fucking love me no matter what. I love me no matter if I'm drinking coffee or tea or turmeric. I love me no matter if I exercise every day or not at all. I love me whether I have a very dark painting that comes out or a very light and fluffy painting, right? I love me no matter what. Getting away from identity moves you into unconditional, infinite exploration of everything. It's unconditional love. The second you put an identity on yourself is the second that you put conditions on you accepting yourself. Well, because I'm a mother, I need to always protect my children. Because I'm a mother, I always need to provide for my children. Great. So as a mother, you're actually downplaying your own ability to take care of yourself because you're putting your children first. These are all traditional old school concepts that do not have a place in 5D. You're holding yourself back with identity. So the solution here is to exist in a place where you have zero expectation and zero attachment to who you are from moment to moment. I just got full body chills. That's liberation. That's freedom. You want to be free? Do you want to have the ability to say, you know what? I could use some extra money in my bank account this month. And then manifest it? Because you have zero attachment to who you are in that way, with abundance, and how and when and where that money is going to come from. Living your life without conditions and attachments and identities allow what needs to be for the highest of your vibration and the collective vibration. It allows it to happen. It's the flow of energy. But in order to be at a place where you don't know who you are, you do and you don't. Let's rephrase that. To be at a place where you don't need to know who you are allows you to be in that flow where anything could happen at any time. And you're good with that. There's this flow. The second that you label yourself with an identity, you're creating parameters for your reality. You're limiting yourself. The disillusion of identity will pull us back every single time. Please work on this concept, please. It will free you. It will liberate you. Maybe for the first time in your entire life. And I know that for me, for such a long time, being a public person, there was always this question, so who are you? Like, what do you do? Okay, well, I don't resonate with psychic. I don't resonate with medium. I don't resonate with cosmic channeler. I don't resonate with, ambassador of the Galactic Federation. I don't resonate with any of that. Who am I? I don't know. I guess I'm just Elizabeth. And that's not even a title, because I'm really not just me in this moment, right? So we gotta step into that infiniteness. When you let go of your identities, you step into, hey, in this moment when I'm doing yoga, I'm gonna pull back and bring back a lifetime where I was a yogi in Burma, and all of a sudden I can do all these crazy poses that I never could do before as Elizabeth. When you let go of that identity and attachment and that limitation in the moment, you can step into any reality, any lifetime, any capacity, any ability, anything. It's infinite. It's really magical when that happens. Okay. So good, but really important. Okay, also the other download that I got recently is you will be indecisive moving forward with anything existing in polarity. And I really want you guys to write this down. You will be indecisive with anything existing in polarity. You may not have been able to conceptualize that in that way yet, but you have 100% been experiencing it. What's a good example? What's a good polarity example? What's your opinion of the presidency, let's say this. The higher you rise your vibration, the more indecisive you're going to be with polarity. Like, I can't tell you how many times this past week I have sat there overwhelmed with all of these different things that I could do in that moment, like answer emails or get prepped for the event or film videos or whatever. And I haven't really wanted to do any of them. And so polarity doesn't have to be a negative thing. It's just the split in the road. It's one or the other. When we're in 5D, it's like, why can't we have both? Right? And so even making dinner has been so difficult for me this week because I haven't really had an opinion or a draw to one, dinner or the other. I've been really indecisive. And the download came to me that the higher the vibration we are, the less the players in our reality, the less the players in the game really matter. All of a sudden, you're at this new vibration, you're like, you know what? It doesn't matter what I make for dinner, as long as we're eating, And I know that, it's good to be excited about certain things, right? In your reality, in polarity, like coffee or tea. But I will just say that if you've been really indecisive, it's because you're just raising your vibration. And you're starting to realize that there's a lot of aspects of your reality that really don't matter, that are just all an illusion. And anytime I've been frustrated or triggered, like my whole Trello, getting all messed up, I just remind myself it's all an illusion. It doesn't matter. And all of a sudden those moments where I would react in the past don't really make me react at all. Because and a lot of the times I'm laughing at aspects of my reality because it's so minuscule in comparison to what's really going on out there. That is also pure liberation and freedom. When you can just look at things and smile and really appreciate that moment of that insignificant thing in your life. And the test. Oh yeah, okay. Just when I said the word test, I want to tell you all what I've been getting trained in, and I've been getting trained in this almost every single night. And I think that for me, it's a very specific training, but I do want to bring this up because I think a lot of you, especially as starseeds and light workers, you've been getting trained as well. I don't know how else to say that word trained in a really positive way. So at nighttime, what I've been experiencing is I typically like tune into my guides and do some meditation or whatever at night. And almost every night these past probably 3 or 4 weeks, I've been laying down and there's been it's either been a very intense itch or a very intense pain out of nowhere randomly across my body. And every time I go to either like move my body because it's painful or like itch my nose because it's super intensely itchy, I always stop myself, and my guides are kind of helping me navigate through this to say, just sit with the pain, just sit with the itch, just sit with the reaction, just sit with the sensation without the reaction, right? It really goes back to many lifetimes where I practice Vipassana, observing objectively without reacting. I've been getting trained on that every single night. I just wanted to bring this up because I think a lot of you are getting trained. I don't know how else to say that, but you're maybe not aware of the training that you're actually going through. So just realize that if weird things have been coming up, like say for example, whenever I have like, I don't know, like maybe it's a more serious pain or maybe it's a digestion thing, there's always this instant fear in my human, oh my God, I'm dying. Oh my God, I have cancer. Oh my God, I have like a tumor or whatever it is. But at nighttime, when it's a very intense itch, we're so removed from it in the way that we don't go to the worst case scenario where we can actually just learn how to navigate that sensation. It's really important that all of you focus on the sensations that you're experiencing with non-reaction. Focus on the sensations that you're experiencing with non-reaction. That is so important for 5D frequency. So important, you guys. So important. Okay, moving on. Okay. Okay, so just a really random message that came, and it might actually be verbatim in the Palladian channel that I'll read. But I just, in the middle of the night, like my guides were nagging me about telling you guys about this. They told me a couple of days ago, but I don't know, maybe I wasn't planning on telling you. Anyway, so what they told me, and I'm not an astrologer, I don't really know what's going on with the planets. I just know the word conjunction and the 21st, right? So what they told me, and if you're an astrologer, please, by all means, like go check this out. They told me specifically that the portals on the planet are aligning to the stars. The portals on the planet are aligning to the stars. Now, and I wasn't sure if this is all happening simultaneously or if this is like on the 21st. They weren't very specific about it. But specifically, say for example, the Great Pyramids of Giza, right, in Egypt. They were built to be aligned. I don't know if it's like to Orion. Once again, I'm not an astrologer. I don't really know this stuff. But they were definitely, all these huge structures were not only built on portals, but they were built at a certain time of year, I guess, or just in general, to align to different star systems and to align to different planets. So the message that came through to me this past week was all of the portals on the planet, or I guess maybe the big ones, are aligning to the stars. Take it or leave it, check it out, see if there's any sort of validity in that. I just thought that was really interesting, but not interesting enough to tell you. But the guides last night, like literally, I just woke up with one eye open trying to write this down. Okay, next up. Really important. I feel like this video is all about giving you tools for 5D Ascension. Maybe I should change the title of this video and just say Tools for 5D Ascension, because I feel like that's what this is. Like kind of like getting you prepped. Okay, so the next tool for 5D Ascension, let's just call it that, is Neutralize the frequency of your thoughts in order to not create any karma moving forward into the new year. I'm going to repeat that. Neutralize the frequency of your thoughts. So, okay. So let's just bring up an example here. Say, for example, you're driving on the street. I don't know. Where else would you be driving? You're driving, okay, in your car. And you're late to go somewhere, even though it doesn't really apply in quarantine. And someone is crossing the road, and, you know, the counter is counting down, and there's like 1 second left, and this guy is just meandering across the road, right? In your mind, you're going to have a reaction around that. And the reaction would probably be something along the lines of like, screw this guy, you know, like I've got places to be, like get out of my way, right? Maybe not these days, but you know, there's a reaction there. The problem is that reaction in your mind, even though it's only going to last for a second or two, that reaction in your mind creates a vibrational reverberation that ripples into your reality that eventually will come back to you. All I'm talking about here is karma. Although you didn't yell at the guy or almost run him over or create any sort of reaction to him, okay, and thank you, Angelo, for that really generous super chat. Although you didn't create an action around the reaction, your thoughts themselves are powerful enough to create karma. Moving into 2021, you need to be aware. I mean, ideally, you want to stop all the thought reaction. But what you can do is you can neutralize it. Okay? So, if say, for example, that same thing, right? The guy, and you're pissed at him in your mind, turn it around and be compassionate. So you've already had the thought reaction. You've already sent that reverberation into your reality. But what you can do is you can think about it a different way. Oh, you know, even though I'm late and this guy's holding me back, I bet you he's probably having a rough day. I mean, he's clearly some homeless guy. He looks like he's probably on drugs, and I have compassion towards him, and it's okay that he took an extra 5 seconds for this light, right? Or whatever. So try and spin reaction thoughts around to neutralize them in that moment. It's okay to have the reaction because we are all just human. Eventually, you're going to get to a place where you're so 5D, you're above it, there is no reaction. That's a beautiful place to be in. But before then, make sure that you're catching yourself in those reactive thoughts and you're neutralizing them in that moment. Okay? And thank you so much, Olga, for, once again, another really generous super chat. And everyone else for being here and just being awakened and receptive. And thank you, Christopher. All right. Moving into 5D, we should not be creating any sort of karma, any sort of energetic baggage. Therefore, we are updated in every moment, from moment to moment. And that's what this book is that I'm writing. And I'm really excited. After the 21st, finally, things really slow down for me this week, and I can take some time to I guess, not take time off work because I still want to work and write my book, but you know, do other things, right? It's going to be good. Okay, cool. Okay, so the other download that I got, one more before we get right into the Palladian message, is your physical reality is aligning to the 5th dimension frequency and it's painful. Your physical reality is aligning to 5D frequency and it's painful. So before you get to 5D, okay, or this new frequency, there are 2 elements within your individual reality that you need to shift in order to align to 5D frequency. You need to shift your physical reality and you need to shift your vibrational reality. And thank you guys once again for the super chats. Alina, just really awesome, very generous. Thank you. So we have to shift these two polarity binary sides of us, right, in order to go into 5D. The thing that's always, always, always going to shift first before anything else is going to be your vibration. The fifth dimension frequency is a very fluffy vibrational frequency, okay? It's a very light frequency that we can hop into and float around in, and it's great, right? It's like I feel like I'm in 5D right now with this weird camera thing that's happened. So it's very light and fluffy. And the first thing that needs to change is our vibration, because 5D is more of a vibration than anything. The thing that always takes longer to change and shift is the physical reality. It's heavy, it's dense, it's contained within linear space and time, and it's just like this unfolding. To shift your physical reality into 5D frequency, it's an unfolding. I wouldn't be surprised that, in 2020, you've shifted your perception, you've shifted your attachments, you've looked at your dark side and your shadow side, you've shifted your vibration in so many ways into a higher frequency. But you may still have family members that you struggle with. You still may have friends, you still may have a job or a work situation that is a lower density, a lower frequency. Maybe your body, maybe you're still eating junk food every night and you hate yourself for eating junk food, or you're smoking cigarettes, or you're drinking too much alcohol, and you're doing these things in the physical that don't align with your perception. Eventually your vibration is going to be up here, your physical reality is going to be down here, and that stretching, that hopping back and forth is going to be so extreme that you're going to exhaust yourself. Right? It's exhausting. Not only that, but it's painful. And this beautiful Suri being, Bhakta, she's told us, for the past 6 months, all about how the fifth dimension frequency is upgrading our vibration. And if you guys have not checked out the full 5-video or 6-video series on the Galactic Federation channelings for this past year, 2020, I really implore you to check them all out. It's literally a full package, and Lauren, if you can post the link, that'd be great. It's a full package for $11, or is it $22? I'm not sure. I think it's $11 of all of the videos packaged together. So check that out, binge watch those, and Bhakta goes into very, very deep detail about how your physical, biological, cellular body is shifting and changing into a new frequency and the symptoms that you're going to experience, okay? It's painful. To shift your physical reality into 5D is painful. You're going to have to shift your living situation, your dynamics with your family, your dynamics with your friends, your dynamics with your job, your dynamics with your own body, your own diet, your own fitness levels, okay? You're shifting everything, and it's painful. And before your body moves into a new 5D frequency, it's got to purge. Maybe it's a rash, maybe it's diarrhea, maybe it's, whatever it may be, but we're shifting, we're purging, we're releasing, okay? Be aware of that. That's probably what 2021 is going to be about, is shifting the physical reality, because it takes time and space, and a lot of the times our egos are still attached, so we're not allowing the space to move. If you want to move rapidly, everything that you've ever known and loved is probably going to collapse instantly in order to rebirth, unless you've done a lot of the physical shifting reality aspects in the past. And if you have, you're in a really great position to watch the rest of the world shift its perception and then its physical reality. So please be compassionate and hold space for other people in your reality who may not be as ahead as you are. Cool. All right. Okay, I'm just gonna, my feet are falling asleep. Oh my goodness. I don't know how I did it as a yogi in a past life, meditating in lotus for like 8 hours a day. It's like my feet still fall asleep. Like, I don't know. Okay, cool. All right, so, when did this transmission happen? Yeah, I don't know. You know how every time in your notes you change it, it updates the date? It kind of sucks. I think it was like 5 nights ago at like 1 in the morning, and I had to grab my phone and write all these notes down. Okay, so direct message. It was a Palladian being from the Security Council, from the Galactic Federation, who literally came to me in the middle of the night. Oh, man, was it more like 3 days ago? Oh, I don't even know. Anyway, somewhere around there. And he said it was a critical message, and he asked me to write it down. So here goes. Now, I also want to tell you, with all of the words that I'm about to read off, there was tons of visuals that he gave me with all of the words. So you guys are only getting like a fraction of the actual message, but I'll try and relay it as best I can. Here's what he relayed to me. Okay, there are 3 timelines happening on planet Earth right now. One timeline is that things shut down around or on December 21st. The other 2 timelines are different. One of the other 2 timelines, things shut down later, around the end of February. And the other timeline, it looks like nothing shuts down at all. Now, and I actually put it here. So then I asked the question to him. I said, what do you mean exactly by shutting down? Because that's the word that he kept saying, shutting down. And then he gave me the image of the lights turning off, like all of the lights on planet Earth turning off. Now, they did tell me a couple of years ago that there was a possibility for a solar flare happening in 2021, and solar flares create a huge surge of electromagnetic activity, which can actually shut down our whole electrical grid system. Okay, so once again, just to relay, right now we are hopping in and out of 3 main timelines. One timeline, things shut down this week, if not tomorrow. Second timeline, things shut down end of February. And then the third timeline, things don't shut down at all. Okay, cool, yeah. Okay, he kind of explains a little bit of it. If this happens, if the shutdown happens, it will bring down the system faster, which would mean humanity is ready for it. So although there might be an initial fear of like, oh no, like things, like if things shut down, it's the New World Order or whatever, whatever that agenda is. But we gotta look at the highest agenda here. We've gotta look at the Galactic Federation agenda. And the agenda, even above the Galactic Federation agenda, is pure Source agenda. Source has contracts too. Did you know that? Source has contracts and a destiny laid out for all of humanity as a whole and a collective. Going beyond, like, yeah, just the whole shadow government, like it's, I don't know, my perception is like, it's just kind of comical. Like, it's just like they really think that they're in charge and they're not. They're at the bottom of the pyramid of the grand scheme when you look at the universe, and they think that they're like large and in charge and on top because they're trying to control us, and they think that they have, right? So I just really, like, my perception has really changed around their agenda in the past probably 2 or 3 months, big time. Okay, so once again, I have to relay this again. If the shutdown happens, it will bring down the system faster, which would mean humanity is ready for it. It will, however, cause fear and chaos. It'll bring down the system faster, which is a good thing. It means humanity is ready for it. However, it will cause fear and chaos for everyone else who's not prepared, for everyone who's not getting this information. And I'm not surprised. I would get freaked out if I didn't know this information, even as an awakened soul, right? Okay. Oh yes, I did relay this a little bit, I think in an Instagram post, but I have to relay this again. Your people are working for the Galactic Federation. That means all of you. Your people are working for the Galactic Federation, and they need to know that they can shift the timelines. They need to shift the timelines. They need to know that they can shift the timelines. They need to shift the timelines. And then, timeline shifting. Hold the highest vibration for humanity. It's the same thing I've said in almost every single video in the past month. We are competing against everyone else in humanity who is either holding fear, chaos, frequency, or manifesting things attached to a 3D world. We're competing against all of them. Okay. So then he explains, in order to shift the timelines, we must believe that anything is possible. And if you guys can write this down, that'd be great. In order to shift the timelines, we need all of you. We need the GFL alumni. We need the GFL workers. We need you guys as the ambassadors. We need you. In order to shift the timelines, number one, we need to believe that anything is possible. And I put in brackets because they gave me the image of the Matrix movie and Neo jumping the buildings. He didn't believe that it was possible, so he couldn't do it. The first thing we need to do in order to shift the timelines is truly believe that anything is possible. Anything that you can do in a lucid dream, you can do here. The only thing separating you from being invisible and floating and levitating and walking through walls is your belief. You are Neo. You can jump the building, but you have to believe it. Okay? Second step for shifting and helping humanity shift the timelines. This is like such an urgent call to all of you. Set the intention for unity consciousness. Even making the statement, I am ready for unity consciousness. I am ready for unity consciousness. And then the third step to shift and help humanity shift and help the Galactic Federation help humanity shift the timelines. Stay within your frequency and don't get affected by the outside world. Stay within your frequency and don't get affected by the outside world. Once again, we're competing against a collective fear frequency, no matter how awakened they are. And, I've said this in a couple of interviews and podcasts in the past month or so, but the saddest part, the thing that I've been observing, I guess not sad because that would be a reaction, but the thing that I've been observing is that there are so many incredibly powerful light workers, all of you, who are still getting sucked into the New World Order paradigm. And I get it. I mean, with mandatory vaccines and quarantine and all this bullshit and censorship and shutting stuff down, I get it. I'm not surprised that you're freaked out. But stop focusing on the shadow government. Stop focusing on the New World Order agenda. Stop focusing on that stuff. Yeah, it's happening, but it's always been happening. This is nothing new. They're just pushing harder. And guess who's pushing just as hard, if not harder than that? The higher agendas, the Galactic Federation, the ambassadors, the light workers. We're pushing hard, but when we have awakened souls still fearing the worst case scenario, it's you're not helping. You're not helping yourself and you're not helping the collective. Please get on board with this. Please, please, please. This is so critical. Hold the highest frequency. Hold unity consciousness. So what if there's mandatory vaccines? That's just an agenda. Things are shifting. We need to hold faith in that. We need to trust in that. Whatever they put into a vaccine, whatever they put into the skies, whatever they put into 5G technology, whatever it is, it's a vibrational frequency. You are a vibrational frequency. As a matter of fact, you are the highest fucking vibrational frequency that ever existed in this universe because you are source. That vaccine isn't source. 5G isn't source. It's a fractal, but it's not a mirror. You're a mirror of source. You are stronger. You are higher vibrational. You are more powerful than any physical or even vibrational aspect of this reality. Stop holding fear. Stop it. Because the more that you're fearful around something that they may force into our bodies, the more you're projecting that fear into our reality, and the more you are creating the vibration of lack within yourself, because you're out of the belief that you are pure source energy, that you are a magical being that can do anything. Think about the worst case scenario and understand that it's still all a fucking illusion. They're projecting these illusions into our reality, not to dumb us down or to take away our psychic abilities, but to create fear in us so that we lower our vibration. It's never about money. The elites don't want money. They want fear. They want us to not believe in ourselves. They don't care about the vaccine or what's in the vaccine. They want to create fear. That's what it is. They want us to lower our vibration, especially for the awakened ones. They know what we want, and they're giving us the opposite so that we believe that we're not good enough to create what it is that we want, which is unity. Don't get trapped in their games. You're better than that, and we need you. We fucking need you. This is the time. Transmute any negative reaction or thoughts that you have moving forward. Bring it always back to unity consciousness. It's time to step up. It's time to take action. And it's not boots on the ground. It's vibrations rising. It's holding the highest intention. We need that so badly right now. Don't be a light worker and focus on fear. Okay? And the other thing that they said is just by thinking it and holding it, we are doing it. Just by thinking it and holding it, we are doing it. The more you show unconditional love within your reality, the more you are collectively shifting the vibration of humanity. I'm going to repeat that. The more you show unconditional love within your reality, the more you are collectively shifting the vibration of humanity. I love how that rhymes too. That's great. The last thing that this beautiful Palladian being, it wasn't kinetic, it was another being. I didn't get his name though. The last thing that he had to say is this. One light worker affects around 72,000 unawakened souls per year. Only if you're holding the highest frequency and the highest vibration. So for those of you who are coming to my event, I will see you all tomorrow for this beautiful, epic, day-long workshop. It will start at 10 a.m. and then I think it'll be about 3 or 4 hours. It'll be shorter than the original one just because I have no one in person. And other than that, if you can't make it or timelines are weird or we're just sold out so you didn't get a ticket, there will be a recording released on Tuesday, and then the workbook goes with the recording, and it's really truly to set you up for the new year, and it includes a guided meditation at the end, and I know so many of you have asked me for a guided meditation for so long, so that's going to be really nice. And then it also includes a live Q&A with the Galactic Federation at the end, so that'll be really nice, along with all of the activities and learning how to be intuitive and practicing your telepathy and all that great stuff. I love you all so much. Thank you for your support this year in general. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing this video to your networks and to your people. We need to know that this is the truth. And I'm not scared to say it because it's just the highest vibration and the highest perception of where we can be at right now. Stop getting stuck in polarity. And share the love, share the message. People need to know, even the people who are awakened, but they're stuck. All right? I love you all so much. I'll see you tomorrow. If not, I will see you on Thursday for a membership video. And if not, I will see you on Sunday for a Q&A. Bye, guys. Thank you.